Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we react to everything that is surrounding this football team. From Adam Schefter talking about the job security of Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. From Brian Daboll talking about the job security for Daniel Jones. Brian Daboll has officially hinted that change could be coming at the quarterback position. For the first time this season, he gave a different answer when he was asked if Daniel Jones will be his quarterback going forward. We've got quotes on that. We've got quotes from Adam Schefter, and we've got a lot to get into on today's show. But up first, let's get the comment section going. We got 232 people in the building, a lot to talk about. If you're a real one, and you're still riding and dying with this football team, no matter if the record's 2-8, no matter if the record's 8-2. If you're here every Sunday and every Monday and you bleed Giants blue, give me a real one down in the comment section. Jay Liv in the building, what up? John Nitty, Thunder, ETC, Rexa, Ty Man the Buckeye, Giants, JC, Rob Jigga, CTM, Frank, the AMP channel. Oh, we got the real one showing up. What up, Rob Simpy? Pecho. What up, Pecho? What up, Mr. Simp? Jennifer Tingle. What up, Ish? What up, Hunter? Alex in the building. Soul Rack. Basil Champ. RG77. Primo Miller. One of my favorite names on YouTube. What up, Primo? Roberto's in the building. Shout out to y'all. PSN is here. What up, Nope? Eric Torres. Joe Santiago. Joel, JC, Charlie, Brock, Drew. What's going on, Mr. Rick? RG77, Greg Congdon in the building. All of the real ones are here. If you could take 1 second to please hit that thumbs up icon before we dive into today's show, we would greatly appreciate it. What up, Luigi? What up, my man Kelvin? What's good, bro? What up, dog? Appreciate you stopping by. What up, the AMP channel? If y'all could all take 1 second to hit that thumbs up icon. We got nearly 300 diehard New York Giants fans in the building. This is going to be the biggest live stream on Giants YouTube this week. So show your support. Hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. It is free. It is easy. And it helps us go here on the channel. We do have a mailbag coming up. We got three videos to film on the channel today. If you want to get us started, hit that thumbs up icon. How about we do this? Once we get to 200 likes on today's show, we'll start the show. We got 300 watching, 82 likes. We should have 2/3 of the people that are watching hit that thumbs up icon. It's free, it's easy, and it helps a friend help a friend. If you have liked the video, type me in the chat so I know who the real ones are. We also got a live mailbag coming up. Producer Smitty says the questions you guys have been asking recently have been a doom. So step your questions up. We're going to get into a mailbag in about an hour. We got 2 segments to talk about before that. But I want to do a mailbag where we just get to vent with all the Giants fans out there. Because, Smitty, there is a lot to talk about at this team for this team. Not a lot of wins, a lot of losses, but still a lot of conversation to be had around this football team.
I need some hard hitters, guys. Like I need some good questions, some hard-hitting questions about the current state as well as the future of the New York Giants, which I guess, according to Marshall, is now in question.
Not me.
Well, I'm saying you just said you just announced earlier.
I didn't report it.
You didn't report it. You announced it to the people here on Giants Now. I'm sorry for false claiming that Marshall's the Giants insider.
I'm not only the Giants insider, I'm also the man that controls the game.
Yes.
And I move, you know the next gen stats, the dots that move around?
Yep.
I actually have a string on every dot and I move around the players on the field.
Yep.
I determine if the Giants win games or not. That's what everyone tells me.
Human chess game ran by Marshall Green.
Oh, who would be our queen?
Ooh.
Who would be the queen of the New York Giants?
That's the best piece, right?
Yep.
It's Dexter
Lawrence?
Yeah.
Who's our king? The one we don't want people to kill.
We don't want people to kill Malik Nabers.
Malik Nabers is the king?
Yeah, we do not
Daniel
want...
Jones is a pawn?
Daniel Jones, we're sending him to the Wolves.
Yeah, blast that dude to the sun, man. Blast him to the sun. Mailbag coming up. On a serious note, I think there's some important stuff to talk about, and we need to get into it. So hashtag Giants, get your questions in. Make them tough. Make me think. Maybe we're talking draft. Maybe we're talking quarterback. Maybe free agency. Maybe trades. Maybe which coach should be fired and which coach should be hired. A general manager replacement. A lot to talk about on today's show. Is that correct?
Well, that is correct. Yes, it is unfortunate miscoloring.
Okay, I was gonna say, are all the colors like that today?
No, I don't believe so. Yeah, no, they're all the rest of the ones are regular.
Cool. Shout out to PSN coming in with a 99-cent super chat. My man PSN, shout out to you. You might be getting your wish of seeing Tommy DeVito play some football here pretty soon. The biggest Tommy DeVito fan I know.
Listen,
the biggest.
That's something you should take some pride in, PSN. You're a Cutlets guy for life.
Don Bosco grad is what I've heard.
The Iron Man. He threw 100 yards in his high school
He is the Iron Man.
Yes, he is the Iron Man. He's unable to be done away with because the Giants just keep holding on to him. The fans keep holding on to him.
Yep. For some reason, I don't know why. Basil Champ, $2 super chat. Appreciate you stopping by and showing love. Appreciate the question as well. When you guys super chat with questions, I really enjoy that. We can just sit up here, we can talk ball, and we'll give you our best answer. It says it was only one game, but Evan Neal played well. And Evan Neal did play well in his return to the starting lineup for the New York Giants.
Go ahead. Do we have the PFF grades?
We do have the PFF grades.
Okay.
And I thought it was a hard tape study because there weren't many times that he was left on an island by himself. It seemed like every time that there was a pass protection set, there was either a chip from the tight end. They were double teaming with Greg Van Roten, or they had a running back chipping. We very rarely saw Evan Neal work one-on-one in pass protection. So the Giants will safety net there, which is smart. You should do that. It's his first game back in a year. Let's make sure that his poor play, which did not happen, doesn't wreck the game. So I like that from the Giants. The thing that I loved the most, though, from Evan Neal was, Smitty, a 93.4 grade in the run blocking department. There was multiple times he would get to that second level, get his hands on a defensive back or an inside backer, and create a running lane for Tyrone Tracy. That was the best run blocking film I have seen on Evan Neal since he became a member of this football team. In 41 snaps, though, he allows just one QB pressure, but his pass blocking grade was a 49.4, simply because there just wasn't a lot of one-on-one work where he was just dominating his opponent. Yeah. Overall, though, an 80.6 PFF grade, 93.4 in the run blocking department, and a 49.4 in the pass blocking department. Look, if Evan Neal plays and he paves the way for running backs to run and you allow just one sack, that's good enough for me at this point.
I'll take it. I mean, you got to take what you can get from Evan Neal at this point. I mean, anything you get at this point, after what you saw initially, is kind of icing on the cake, right? Because you probably thought you were going to move on from Evan Neal after the season. You already went out and signed Jermaine Illuminor to be his replacement. So the fact that he's producing at least something for this Giants positively is welcome.
And Bronx Boy makes a good point. It was against the Carolina Panthers. They don't have many talented football players on their defense. So I'm not going to say Evan Neal is back. Evan Neal is a starting right tackle of the future. I'm actually saying the opposite of that. He's content. Let him start at right tackle the rest of the way, and let's see if he can improve. Let's see if he can stay healthy. And let's see if maybe going into next year he can be your swing tackle if Andrew Thomas or Jermaine Illuminor goes down.
Yeah.
Or maybe you try and cross-train him at guard this offseason. There was enough solid reps on tape to at least not leave yesterday's game, Smitty, with the idea of blast him and Daniel Jones.
There wasn't an idea of Evan Neal yesterday, he can't play.
Yeah.
He was serviceable, and with a little bit of help, which is smart, we'll see if he can, like you said, improve and hopefully get more one-on-one reps as the season goes.
Yeah. Not perfect, but I would say an encouraging game and encouraging tape out there for Evan Neal. We've seen that before. He's had solid games before, but the difference between a backup and a starter in this league is consistency. Can he consistently be an average tackle? That would be a win at this point. PSN LLC, biggest Tommy DeVito fan we know. I'm telling you, man, this guy loves DeVito. Says, Marshall, we appreciate you. You are the best. You are the best, my man. I appreciate y'all for being here. The fact that we got 320 people live and direct in the building here on a doomsday of a Monday after you just lost your 8th game of the season and it's bye week time. That's awesome. That's love. I appreciate that. more than you guys know. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you guys showing up and people like PSN showing love and being able to donate to the channel. That is good stuff right there. Yep. Corey coming in with a $5 super chat. Yo, Corey, appreciate the love, my man. If you have a comment, if you got a take, if you got a thought, if you just want to say something, drop it in the comment section, and I'll do my best to give you the best answer I can. If you just want to support the channel like this, man, that's more than enough. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let's go, Big Blue. Kelvin, my guy, what's up, dog?
Love this.
Says, if we get a top 3 pick, would you trade back and why? And I don't remember whose podcast I was listening to yesterday. I don't know if you guys are like me. When I get home from Giants games, I watch the highlights that they post on YouTube for 20 minutes, and then I watch every content creator talk about the game, and sometimes I even watch other teams' content creators, NFL as a whole. And someone brought up, I can't recall which show it was, that if you don't love any of these quarterbacks, or even if you do, but you think that they aren't ready to play, do the Giants trade out of their first-round pick, maybe 5, 6, 7 spots down the board, get a king's ransom, and try to build your team that way?
It certainly has to be a discussion. I mean, if you don't love one of the QBs, obviously, the fans can't select a QB for the GM. They have to love the guy. And if they don't, you could get a lot for him. If somebody like who finishes lower than the Giants, say the Raiders want to move up and get Shedeur Sanders or something of that nature, then you have to at least make the call. Because there are teams that will overpay, and the Giants can benefit greatly because of that.
Like, let's say the Giants end up with the second pick in the draft, which they currently own at this moment. Let's say Travis Hunter goes 1. Raiders are picking 8th. Raiders want to trade up from 8 to 2 to secure Shedeur Sanders, and they give you a first-round pick in 2025. They give you a first-round pick in 2026 and maybe a third-round pick in 2026 as well, or an additional third in 2025. That's going to be hard to pass up on unless you have an extremely strong conviction that you can get someone at 8 that can elevate this franchise at the QB spot.
Yeah. I mean, there aren't a ton of names, though, that are going to be probably likely mocked and scouted into the top 10. There's going to be Shedeur Sanders potentially, and there's going to be Cam Ward. And the Giants really have 2 shots at it, right? There's nobody out there that jumps off the page unless somebody has a crazy combine or pro days or I don't know. I don't really buy into that stuff. I need to see what's going on the field right now. And as of right now, the only 2 quarterbacks that even sniff the top 10 seem to be Sanders and Ward. If the Giants don't like either one of those guys, got to think about trading back.
I mean, if you can get, obvious, we'll call it 3 threes, but we'll call one of them a swap of 2025 picks. I mean, if you can get an additional 2 first-round picks, that's hard to say no to.
Yep.
Unless you just believe, which I do, Cam Ward's going to be a franchise guy.
Yeah.
And according to Joe Schoen, the quote we broke down was, didn't Cam Ward lose tonight? I don't know. We haven't talked about that. That pisses me off that he says shit like that.
Don't answer the question if you're going to answer like a smartass.
Exactly. If you missed the show this morning, obviously the Giants played in Germany. There was an event Saturday night. I forget the man's name who tweeted out on Twitter that he told Joe Schoen to draft Cam Ward, and Joe Schoen responded and said, didn't Cam Ward lose tonight? Who's going to pay Saquon Barkley that money? What type of guy's going to have money for Saquon Barkley in free agency? You're not always the smartest in the room, Joe. And here it is. Steve's his name. You go check it out. Look, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I'm still upset about the game yesterday. But this upsets me.
Yeah. It's snarky. It's I'm better than you talk,
yep.
and it's insane for a guy in a position of where he is at 2-8 to be talking that way.
The guy that has 0 players. I'll correct that. For a guy that in 2022 drafted 11 players, one of them is going to get a second contract, and then a guy that drafted 7 players in 2023.
Yep, 7.
7? How many of those guys are going to get a second contract?
Oh, and 2.
Deontay Banks ain't getting a second contract. Maybe John Michael Schmitz, and he's been, I would say, underwhelming as a prospect. I'm not giving a second contract to
Jalin Hyatt
at this point.
And he traded up for 2 of those guys.
Smitty, 11 players in 2022, 7 players in 2023, over 18 draft picks in his first 2 drafts. He's got 2 guys that should get a second contract.
And it's not like either one of those guys are home run picks, team-changing talents. I mean,
it's the same thing when he said this. Guys, we couldn't win games last year with Pat Mahomes. Yeah, the hell you could have. Yeah, you could have. You would have beat the Bills last year with Pat Mahomes. You would have beat the Jets last year with Pat Mahomes. There was multiple games Pat Mahomes would have won you last year, Mr. Joseph Schoen. It's just stuff like this. Who has a market for Saquon Barkley? Immediately someone in the Giants press room says, the Eagles. He pushes back on it. I like Joe Schoen. I said today I would stick with him, but I wish he would take a dose of some self-reflection, realize that you don't have to be a snarky asshole that believes he's better than everybody else. Why would we draft Cam Ward? He lost tonight, didn't he? I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Drew P., $2 super chat. Appreciate the love, my man. Says Cam Ward isn't it, and we could get Sanders.
Joe Schoen guy.
Joe Schoen guy. Look, I get it. Some people are going to like him. Some people aren't. Some people like chocolate ice cream. Some people like vanilla ice cream. Some people like chocolate. Some people like fruity candy. Everyone's got their different tastes. I'm a Cam Ward guy. And I'd say after watching the game this weekend, I'm even more of a Cam Ward guy because he almost pulled off another double-digit second-half comeback. He throws a touchdown on 4th and 12, rolling out of the pocket, and it gets called back because of a holding.
He's a good ball player, man. That defense puts him in some holes sometimes.
He puts himself in some holes. The defense puts him in holes. I am confident that Cam Ward will be a good player. I understand why people like Shedeur. I like Shedeur Sanders as well. If in a vacuum we're talking about only playing quarterback, only operating inside the white lines, none of the excess noise, none of the Sanders circus at the Giants clown show, then cool. But I'm also not certain that Deion Sanders isn't going to be involved in that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Sanders. He's my QB2. I got Cam Ward as QB1 though. Everyone's going to have their preference. Yeah. Rebel Montana. What's up, Rebel? Shout out to you, bro. Hope all is well. DJ is like your version of Derek Carr. That is so disrespectful to Derek Carr.
So disrespectful.
Derek Carr almost won an MVP in this league.
Rebel Montana. Just stick around in the show.
I get what he's trying to say.
Yeah. That he caused you pain. The team kept sticking around with him, all that stuff. We're going to show you some statistics on this show that signal that Daniel Jones is not only a bad quarterback, he is a historically bad quarterback in NFL history.
We will never see a quarterback like Daniel Jones again.
He's one of one. One of one with the numbers that we're going to show you later on in today's show.
I said yesterday it's not even fun to shit on Daniel Jones anymore. I can't wait to do it on today's show.
These are fun numbers, man. Like things you couldn't even fathom.
It's bad.
Bad.
We got 360 people watching. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon. We're 39 likes away from 200 likes. If you could show some love, hit the thumbs up icon. Let's make this the biggest stream on Giants YouTube today. It's free. It's easy. It supports the show. If you have liked the video, give me a big blue in the chat so I know who the real ones are. Uriel Torres, $5 super chat. Shout out to you, UT. Says, sitting at the worst record in the NFL, what percentage of blame would you give to Daniel Jones, Daboll, and Joe Schoen?
It's a great question.
It's a great question. It's almost like that's our poll question for today on the live show.
Oh, is it really?
I said, and I worded it a little bit differently. I said, what is the Giants' biggest problem right now? So somewhat of the same question.
Definitely.
We've had 473 people vote. 8% says Brian Daboll's fault, biggest problem. 11% say Joe Schoen is the biggest problem. And 81% say Daniel Jones is the biggest problem. And I think that's pretty accurate.
I think it's fairly accurate. You could cut the pie up in those slices, and I don't know how many people would disagree with you.
I've seen on Twitter that, and that's why I did the video I did this morning. If you haven't checked it out, check it out after the live show today. It's a long one. Smitty called it a motion picture, 22 minutes, but I had a lot to say. Feature film. I had a lot to say.
It was great. I liked it.
I don't want to call him out by name because I'm not 100% sure who it was, but multiple beat writers yesterday hinted that the Giants have problems throughout their team, that it's more than just a Daniel Jones issue. And while I do agree, Giants front office is flawed. The Giants roster is flawed. The Giants coaching staff is flawed. But at the end of the day, Smitty, you have five one-score losses in the NFL this year. 5 times you have lost by 8 points or less.
Yep.
You know what great quarterbacks do? They win you games you're not supposed to win.
Yep.
They flip the script. They change the outcome of games in one-score ball games. If the Giants had average QB play this year, I believe they would have won at minimum 2 of those 5 games they lost by 1 score or less.
Oh, and you can
and
also,
that's at minimum.
And you can also lump in the Cincinnati game. That was a 3-point game before Daniel Jones had multiple chances to take the lead or tie the game. And then the Cincinnati walked in that touchdown with, 3 minutes left and iced it? Like, that was a 1-score game, too. And there might be another instance like that this season. There could be 7+ games out of 10 that the Giants could have won this year.
To win in the NFL, it is hard. It's also hard to go 0-5 in 1-score games. Like, I get it, you have some 1-score game wins. Not even. You beat the Seattle Seahawks by 9. I think you beat the Browns
by 6.
By 6. So you are 1-5 and 6 1-score games this year. You know what fixes that? A quarterback that can go win you a game. A quarterback that can put a drive together in the fourth quarter, Smitty, and not airmail the receiver or the running back on a check down to lose the game. A quarterback against the Panthers that wouldn't have had to settle for a field goal that sent it into overtime. One that could have punched it in for a touchdown. Kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but what I will say is I believe there are a lot of problems on this team. But there are none bigger and none more impactful than Daniel Jones. Giants are 2-8. They've played 5 games this year that have ended up in 1-score losses. I believe in my whole heart of hearts, if you had an average quarterback, you would be 5-5 this year. And no one can convince me otherwise. I really believe that. Primo Miller. Love that name. What's up, P? Says, peace, Marsh. We should keep our staff for 2 more years at least. With that said, name 5 positions we can grab or draft or grab in free agency to fix our team inside 2 years. Primo Miller, appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all 430 people in the building. Hit that thumbs up icon if you could. Go to that. No, you were right. I want to look at that. These are the biggest 5 needs for the Giants right now. I know it's easy to say, put a primetime player at this spot, Giants are going to the playoffs. We all know quarterback's the biggest problem on this team, or I hope if you have something in your head that pumps blood, you understand that quarterback is the biggest need on this team. Offensive tackle or guard. Greg Van Roten is most likely off this team next year. He's a veteran who was contemplating retirement before the season. He came back because he was a New York kid. So the reason I put offensive tackle or guard is if you find a right tackle you like in free agency, sign him. Move Illuminor to right guard. You find a guard in free agency or the draft you like, pick him up. Have Illuminor be your right tackle. So one of the right guard or right tackle spots is a major need coming up this offseason. So is wide receiver. I am not, we'll get to that in a second. I'm not paying Darius Slayton $13 million. I'm not. Darnell Mooney got $13 million. Gabe Davis got $13 million. I'm not paying a wide receiver, too, that doesn't threaten the defense outside of a go route $13 million. I want someone else that can bend the field on the opposite side of Malik Nabers so we don't have the safety rolled every time to Nabers or the whole defense rolled to Nabers. I'm letting Slayton go. So, therefore, you need another wide receiver, maybe 2. And you need a defensive tackle next to Dexter Lawrence. You're the worst run defense in the NFL. You're also the worst run defense in the NFL when Dexter Lawrence is off the field. It can't just be Lawrence and Burns having the ability to get off blocks and make plays in the run game and cornerback. You picked and whiffed on Flott. You picked and whiffed so far on Deonte Banks. Still a lot of runway, hopefully, on his career as a Giant. And if I had a 6th spot, it would be place kicker. Shout out to Mr. Cha, because Graham Gano is cooked. That man's a cooked product. He's got to go. He's got to go.
Yeah, it was bad yesterday.
So these are the top 5 needs and kickers up there as well. Good thing that Joe Schoen gave Graham Gano that awesome contract extension, and now he can't even make 47-yard field goals.
Yep.
Basil Champ, $2 super chat, says Joe got to go. Look, I don't think there's a problem with thinking that at all. A Rare Mario says, I thought we liked Nacho. I love nachos, and I thought it was a cool nickname. I like Nacho as DT3, DT4. Giants need a better DT2. My man, Big Dash, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you being here, man. Shout out to Big Dash, another awesome Giants content creator. Go show him some love, man. My opinion is one of the guys that actually knows ball. Joe's got to go. Look, I understand if you feel that way. Look, there's part of me that thinks Joe Schoen should go. But at the end of the day, I said it in the morning video. I'm rolling it back with Joe and Dabes. I don't know. I think that the Giants, led by Joe Schoen, just had their best offseason in 2024. He drafted 5 guys who I think are going to be players on this team. I get it. It's a whole body of work. The 2022 draft was fireable. The 2023 class, fireable. 2024 class, he's got the best class of all of them. I love the additions of Runyon and Illuminor and Van Roten. You signed 3 starters, 3+ starters on the offensive line, and you go out and you make a hell of a trade for Brian Burns. I don't love everything they did in 2024. I don't need to rehash it. You can go check it out, but I'm going to stick with Joe Schoen, and I'm going to stick with Joe Schoen for the 2025 season and the 2026 season. If the Giants are not pushing for the playoffs in 2026, then he can go. Shout out to Mike G in the building as well. Shout out to you, Brody. Nicholas Jones, what's up, my man? Appreciate the $5 super chat. Says, Ward isn't it. Sanders, not sure. He brings a show to town. I believe Monroe.
I believe Milroe.
Milroe? Okay. I was going to say there's no Monroe in this class that I know of. Jalen Milroe is the best option playing against the best competition. Where are you leaning? There is no doubt, Smitty, that Jalen Milroe can be an explosive playmaker in the NFL. I do worry about his ability to win in the pocket consistently.
Yeah.
Before that LSU game, he put about 4 stinkers in a row up.
Yeah.
And I had Milroe as QB3 at one time.
Yep.
The last 3 games, though, outside the LSU game.
And a lot of teams have put up really
the LSU defense is not good.
Really big numbers against LSU's defense.
Miller Moss cooked them.
Miller Moss had me bewitched at the beginning of the season, thinking he was going to be some star, and he stinks.
Look, I think all 3 of these quarterbacks can be successful in the NFL. Who are they going to? Who's developing them? Who's building a team around them? That's what's so important. 99% of people had Caleb Williams above Jaden Daniels. 99% of people said, Smitty, that the Bears were a better landing spot than the Commanders.
Yeah, 100%.
It's flipped.
They were wrong.
And they were wrong. I was wrong. I thought that whoever was going to Washington was going to go there to die, because I think that Washington is a joke of an organization.
They flip things around.
They flip things around, and they look good. More often than not, it's more important of who are you getting drafted by, who's building a team around you, and who are you being developed by. But if I had to answer who I believe who my quarterbacks are, I'm going to go Cam Ward QB1, Shedeur Sanders QB2, and then I think there's a big gap.
Yeah, probably
a big gap, and then I'll say QB3 Milroe, QB4 Garrett Nussmeier, and
I don't even know if Nussmeier will come out at this point.
Yeah,
maybe I can't even say Quinn.
Yeah.
It's a bad class.
It's a 2.5 QB class.
Yeah.
If Milroe goes to the right spot, he can be successful.
Yep.
Agreed. He can. There's a lot of things I like about Milroe. Things that make me wonder if
he's even a good college QB.
Yeah, exactly. JC, what up, man? Is he Dennis Dixon? Why would we want to work in meaningless games like last and miss out on drafting top QB? Working out well for Washington this year. Why would we want to win meaningless games like we did last year and miss out on drafting a top quarterback? Why would we as fans? I will speak for both fan sides. Some fans want the best pick available. 100% understandable. Some teams want to see their team win on Sunday. Sometimes, only thing that people have in their life are the New York Giants, and they want to experience a win. Brian Daboll ain't trying to lose games on purpose. He's trying to keep his job. Some people believe in tanking. Some people don't. I'll tell you this much. Giants aren't tanking. They're trying to win games, and they're bad enough to where they do not have to tank.
They don't have to tank. They're tank proof.
I'm stuck in the middle. because I know what a Giants win does for a lot of people that watch this channel in their daily lives. But I also know what losses do for the future of this franchise. It's a really tough question. I go back and forth all the time because I love this team and I want to see them win. And like it sucks. I don't know. It sucks. I want them to win. I also want them to be better for the future. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yep.
Jay Liv, $10 super chat. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you, brother. Says if the Giants fire Daboll, they can't hire a novice
QB,
novice?
so it's like a rookie.
A young coach?
Yeah, young coach.
They need a proven winner. I do agree with that. If you're going to fire Daboll, I want someone that's done it before. Belichick isn't it. His only success was with Brady, and he's going to want absolute power. Mike Vrabel. I hear what you're saying, but let's not forget also that Bill Belichick got to the playoffs with Mac Jones.
Yep.
I get it. I understand what you're saying. He was great with Tom Brady, and maybe he was only great because of Tom Brady. But I can't just forget about the year that he got his team to the playoffs with Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you fire Daboll, I would like someone that's been there and done that. And that was kind of what I wanted last cycle. But Daboll was the guy, and I like Daboll. And I still believe that Daboll can be the head coach of a team that is consistently in the playoffs. But yeah, it's always nice to have that fallback and that security knowing this guy's been there, done that. If I had to pick between Schoen and Daboll, who am I picking? I'm going Daboll.
Yeah, I agree.
I would go Daboll. Adonis, the A-Train. What a name. Love that. Hey, guys, thank you for the love, man. Appreciate the $5 super chat.
Appreciate you, man.
Says, hey, guys, who do you think is the best in the East, Eagles or Commanders? Who would you rather have, Hurts or Daniels? Much love. Either the Eagles are better than Commanders, and I'd rather have Jane Daniels than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Man, give me the Commanders coaching staff though.
Commanders coaching staff. Dan Quinn could coach the hell out of some defense.
Commanders coaching staff, Eagles roster, Jaden Daniels probably wins the Super Bowl.
It's up there. They're winning the East, that's for sure.
They're winning the East, that's for
I'm
sure.
not the biggest Jalen Hurts fan, but one thing you can't knock is that guy wins a lot of football games.
He does win.
He wins a lot of football games, whether you want to say he's got an all-star talent around him, whether you want to say that, whatever it is. Guy wins a lot of games. I would take Jaden Daniels, though. I'd take Jaden Daniels. Good question. J Lib, back again. What's up, Brody? I meant to say they need a proven winner. It's not Belichick because he wants absolute power and won only with Tom Brady.
Yep.
So who's the proven winner that's out there? Mike Vrabel? Are we calling him a proven winner as a head coach considering he got fired at his only spot as a head coach?
And what has he been to, one AFC championship game? I mean, yes, he does bring Ryan Tannehill there. But
I like Vrabel, but let's not just – he's a proven winner.
Yeah.
He got fired from his only stop as a head coach.
No rings.
I like Vrabel. I do. And if the Giants fire Brian Daboll, Mike Vrabel's probably going to be option number one for me.
Vrabel also had the luxury to play in really bad Texans teams, really bad Jags teams, and really bad Colts teams for the better part of the 5 years that he was the coach there. 5, 6, 7 years that he was the coach there.
I get you, man. If the Giants are moving on from Brian Daboll, yeah, I want someone that's been there, done that, and done it at a high level in this league.
Not easy to find.
Those guys don't really exist, and most of them already have jobs.
They already have jobs. That's right.
I 100% agree, though. Let's get them. Let's do it. Rob Jiggle, what's up, man? Sorry I couldn't join yesterday. I need to apologize, bro. I know everyone's busy. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for being here on Monday.
Yes, sir.
If Ward is gone, don't want Sanders, what QB do you want in the draft? Smitty, can we get holiday blue screen stuff this year? Chat rocks. Cheers. We'll get some Christmas graphics on the stream for sure.
Okay.
If Ward is gone, and I'm not taking a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, no.
I'm not just
go get a game-changing talent.
I'm not just scratching because I got an itch.
We can deal with a year of no rookie quarterback in town, build the rest of the roster up, and then go get
build the foundation so the quarterback that you drafted in 2026
is in a good situation.
Yeah,
surrounded by talent. That's what it's about.
Look, I think Shedeur Sanders is awesome as a football player. I think he's probably got the best accuracy in the class. I believe that he deserves credit as a leader for having everyone at Colorado buy into him and really a 180 for that football team. Obviously, his pops deserves a lot of credit as well. Like if we're just, again, talking in between the white lines and you're comparing tape to tape, Sanders is up there with Cam Warren, and some people are going to tell you Sanders are better, and I'm not going to tell you they're wrong. I think that Sanders probably is the best in-the-pocket quarterback in this class. When you talk about the three types of throws, a one ball, a two ball, a three ball, he's got all of those. He layers the football extremely well. I think he's got a good arm. I don't think he has an elite NFL arm. But he's a gamer. He's a competitor. He's a culture changer. And he's someone that's going to win you games in this league because of his ability to throw to every blade of grass and be accurate. I just more so have a problem with, problem's not the right word. I have more so a worry about the off-the-field stuff, not with him, not with his.
It really has nothing to do with him.
Yeah, it's the Sanders show. I think he's a good quarterback. Got him as QB too. If you're picking at 8 and Ward's gone, yeah, we're gonna have a conversation about taking Shedeur Sanders, and you might need to do it. Maybe you do it. Maybe you should do it. Thing is, we still got a long way to go.
Yep.
We get to watch Colorado play some more football. They may be making the playoff this year. Let's see how they look in that. Greg Congdon, $5 super chat. What's up, my man? How many times do we get to say, "Oh God, when is this going to be a fumble or an interception?" And it happens like. How many times? Well, it's been 6 seasons.
Yeah.
How many games has he played? Then that's your answer.
Yeah.
And then times that by 1.5.
At least, yeah, 1.5. I think it's a good way.
1.5 turnovers per game?
Yeah. Well, 1.5 chances at turnovers game, but whether he loses it or not, whether it's a turnover-worthy plays. Probably has 2 of those, two to 2.5 of those a game over his career.
Yeah, I'm fed up. I'm fed up, and I'm sure everybody is. Mike G! Love the channel. Still love the Giants. Ward 2025.
Love you, Mike G.
Mike G. Keep hitting dingers, Brody. DM forever. My man was killing it in the game last year. What's up, bro? Last week. Shout out to you. Says Aaron Rodgers blamed Daniel Jones for the Jet loss. Okay. All right. Slime! Slap. How do you feel if we sign T. Higgins and pick up an extra wide receiver in the draft like Tez Watkins, Jimmy Horn, Jalen Royals? Our offense would be better. We did a video on Saturday, top free agent targets.
T. Higgins up there.
He was the number one for me. Would I rather pay T. Higgins $23 million per year or Darius Slayton $13 million per year?
It's not a question.
Imagine an offense. Like, let's say the Giants aren't able to get the quarterback they want this year. You go out and sign T. Higgins. You find a guard in the draft. And that rookie quarterback in 2026 is walking into an offense that has Andrew Thomas, John Runyon, year 4 John Michael Schmitz, a starting right guard, Jermaine Illuminor, Malik Nabers, T. Higgins, and Tyrone Tracy. That seems like a spot a rookie quarterback could succeed. Until you find the guy, build up the roster, add some bones to this team so that the landing spot is a little softer. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, wide receiver is still a major need for this team. Giants don't even average 16 points a game. Wide receiver is a major need for this team. Zach Attack, 58, my man. Jones must go. But I also believe Mara has not hired the right staff since Coughlin. That is the biggest problem. A new QB won't fix us right away. My question to you would be this, Zach Attack. If you know that Daniel Jones must go, and then you could find a coach that could build a staff to get Daniel Jones to the playoffs where he throws 15 touchdowns, I'd say it's a pretty good staff.
Yep.
Is Brian Daboll perfect? No. Is Brian Daboll a top 5 head coach in this league? No. Is Brian Daboll a top 10 head coach in this league? No. But is he a top 32 head coach? Yeah. 100%. Is he a top 25 head coach? Yeah. Top 20? Let's debate it. The guy should get a Nobel Peace Prize for getting Daniel Jones to the playoffs.
It's
unfathomable. And then winning a road playoff game.
Who else is ever? Nobody else is able to do it. Is Daniel Jones third coach or second?
This is Daniel Jones's third.
Shermer, Judge, Daboll.
Shermer, Judge, Daboll. Yep.
So neither of the other two guys were able to do it.
Yeah. A-Train. This guy I haven't asked about, Carson Beck. That's a doom. No, I'm out on Carson Beck.
He stinks.
I have no interest in selecting Carson Beck to this football team. Basil Champ, what's up, bro? They better not overpay Sam Darnold. Mr. INT is back. Yeah, I'm avoiding Sam Darnold. And it's not because I don't think he's a good player. He is a good player. But, like, the Giants aren't a Sam Darnold away necessarily from winning a Super Bowl. I think if you had Sam Darnold on this team instead of Daniel Jones this year, you're 6-4. You're pushing for an NFC playoff spot.
Yeah.
But, like, I want to build up the roster, man. I want to fill the premium positions with premium assets, whether that's free agency money, whether that's draft capital, and I want us to put the best team around a young QB. And I think the best way and the easiest way to win in the NFL is building out the roster and ballooning up your salary cap at other spots. So in year 3 and year 4, where that rookie quarterback is on a rookie scale contract, you can load up talent everywhere else. If you're paying Sam Darnold $30 million, you're not doing that. So, no, I'd pass on Darnold. Scott Hernan. Yeah, buddy. Bingo. Smitty nailed it. Build the foundation first. We are still here. Better days ahead. We got some pieces. Let's keep building. Let's go, G-Men.
There are some very good players on this team. There are not a lot of very good players on this team. There's still a lot of holes, but obviously quarterback is number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Keep building. I wish we could go to the game. I wish we could.
It'd be fun.
Oh, shout out to y'all. 421 people watching. If you could, hit that thumbs up icon. We are still going to get into a mailbag on today's show. A lot of super chats came in. We're going to prioritize those. So shout out to y'all who super chatted. Every super chat that comes on today's show that is Giants applicable, we'll pop it up on screen. We'll talk about it, and then we'll feature it in the mailbag. But if you just got a good question that you want to send in the chat, use hashtag Giants and Smitty.
You got to have a banger.
A banger?
You got to have a banger question. If you're using hashtag Giants, you better have a banger question because a lot of people have been sending in super chats, so we're going to prioritize those.
Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all being here, man. In fact, there are 410 people in the building here on a Monday after a game where you lost to the Carolina Panthers and you're 2-8. The fact that y'all are showing up, man, that fires me up to continue to bring y'all the best content that I can. All righty. Brian Daboll has officially hinted that he is going to bench Daniel Jones. And thank God. Thing is, it's 5 weeks too late. I believe if you went to Drew Lock 5 weeks ago, the Giants would be 5-5. They would not be on a 5-game losing streak, and the season and the hopes for a potential playoff spot would still be on the horizon. But he didn't do it. And it's unacceptable. Let's talk about it. Brian Daboll has finally hinted that the end of Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback for the New York Giants is here. Brian Daboll gave an answer on Monday that he has never given when it comes to Daniel Jones and being the starting quarterback for this great organization. We're going to break that down around the corner. But if you want the Giants to bench Daniel Jones, hit that thumbs up icon. I want to take the pulse of the fan base. Do you want Daniel Jones on the bench? Hit that thumbs up icon if you do. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Look, if you're still watching Giants content during a bye week while they sit at 2-8, you are a diehard Giants fan, and you deserve better. And I do believe better days are around the corner. I do believe that. And it sounds like a new quarterback could be under center coming up real soon for the New York Giants. Brian Daboll spoke to the media on Monday morning, and he had a different tune to the song when asked about who his starting quarterback is going to be. He said, when asked who is going to be your starting quarterback coming out of the bye, playing against Tampa Bay, Dabe said, quote, we're going to spend a lot of time here watching our tape and evaluating things, and we'll do that as a coaching staff over the next week here. We are evaluating our team at the bye week. It's what we're doing. We'll go back and we'll evaluate everything and decide what we want to do here. We've got this week to go ahead and really dig into this. This is a new response from Brian Daboll. The last 3 weeks, multiple beat reporters have said, is Daniel Jones going to be your quarterback this upcoming Sunday? And Brian Daboll has not hesitated to say, Daniel Jones is our guy. Daniel Jones is playing well. Daniel Jones gives us the best opportunity to win. He keeps saying it. He didn't say it this time. He said we are going to evaluate our options. That tells me that there is a strong chance that Brian Daboll knows that Daniel Jones has played his last snap as a Giants quarterback, which is awesome because Daniel Jones has been the worst quarterback in the National Football League this year that hasn't missed a start. He leads the worst offense in the NFL. He's led you to a 2-8 record, and he's got a $23 million injury guarantee. But thing is, Brian, you're 5 weeks late. You are 5 weeks late to the benching the Daniel Jones party. You are 2-8. You are 2-8 10 weeks through the season. And you could be 5-5 at minimum with Drew Lock, in my opinion. 21-18 loss versus Washington. You allow 7 field goals. Should have won that game. 20-15 versus Dallas. How many times did we say in that game, here's your chance, Daniel. Go win the game, Daniel. Didn't do it. The 17-7 loss against Cincinnati. That should have been a win. How many times did they give you an opportunity to win? And then a late touchdown made it a 2-score game. What about the game against Pittsburgh? Game-losing interception on the final drive. What about the 27-22 loss to Washington? Should have won that game. And you damn sure should have beat the Carolina Panthers. I'm not saying Drew Lock wins you all those one-score games. But what about instead of being 2-8, you're 5-5? Or you're 4-6? Or maybe you're 6-4? But it doesn't matter because it didn't happen. Because Brian Daboll didn't wisen up. Brian Daboll didn't smarten up. Brian Daboll didn't prioritize what is best for this football team. And that's moving on from Daniel Jones. At 2-8, your season's over. Doesn't matter who's at quarterback anymore. Because nothing matters when it comes to wins and losses anymore except for improving or making your draft pick worse. The Giants are 5-5 at minimum with average QB play. If Tyrod Taylor's your quarterback, you're probably 6-4. I want to celebrate. I want to pop champagne. I want to be like, hell yeah, Giants are trying to win games. It doesn't matter. They're 2-8. Season's cooked, just like Daniel Jones' career. How could you not bench him earlier? Second worst scoring offense. Bottom 8 yards per game. Bottom 7 passing yards per game. And you have the worst passing touchdowns per game in the NFL. There's only 32 teams in the league. I know some people forget that. You are bottom 9 in every statistical category that matters as a quarterback. Daniel Jones has been the worst starting quarterback in the NFL this season. And you're 2-8. And it took you 10 weeks to realize in year 6. Not to mention, benching him 5 weeks ago would have saved you potentially $23 extra million. And thank God they're doing it now. Because could you imagine if you rolled out Daniel Jones against Tampa Bay and he has another neck injury and he can't pass a physical this upcoming spring and then he's on the roster for $41 million? That's a fireable offense. That's jail-worthy time. But it doesn't matter. Brian Daboll wasted a season. He wasted your time. He wasted my time. He wasted your money. He messed with my mental emotions and my mental health. He wasted a season hoping and praying that Daniel Jones would turn it around. No one answered those hopes and no one answered those prayers either. But it didn't take this year to know that. It didn't take last year to know that Daniel Jones wasn't the guy. Daniel Jones in his last 17 starts is 3-14. He has won 3 games out of his last 17 tries as a starter. But it's worse than that, baby. He has 10 passing touchdowns in his last 17 starts. I repeat, he has thrown the ball that ended up in a completion that then resulted in people dancing 10 times in 17 quarters. 10 times, I believe, in 68 quarters. He's done that 10 times. He's also thrown 14 picks in his last 17 games. And he has a whopping 183 yards per game in his last 17 contests. It is honestly impressive how bad of a football player that Daniel Jones is. We will never, ever, ever see a quarterback like Daniel Jones again. The things he has done, or I guess the lack of things that he has done, is unreal. We're going to go and break down some stats for you that might just give you a laugh around the corner because I know I needed one. But first, if you want to show some love to someone that knows what it means to be a Giant, someone that plays with Giants pride, and someone that's actually a damn good football player, go to chatsports.com/Burns. Chatsports.com/Burns and show some love to the guy that's playing through an injury and leaving every ounce that he has on the field every Sunday. Show him some love. Chatsports.com/Burns. Get yourself a Brian Burns jersey. We will never, ever see a quarterback like Daniel Jones again. The run he is on as a starting quarterback in this league is historic. Historically bad. Shout out to WBG84, my guy. One of the best follows on Giants Twitter. Give him a follow. My man was cooking with these tweets. Signs when you know you have a bad offense and bad QB play. A 43-yard defensive pass interference penalty. Carolina kicking off short of the landing zone. Starting the drive at your own 40. 3rd and 1 at your own 49. 2nd and 13 at the opposing 21. 3rd and 7 at the opposing 8. The end results for those drives: punt, missed field goal, sack, INT. It gets worse. Daniel Jones has thrown 5 red zone INTs since 2023. That's the most by any QB in that span. Do we remember how many games he played in 2023? Oh, yeah, not even half a season. WBG84 with more. Daniel Jones is the first QB in 30 years to have 5 games with 37-plus passing attempts and 0 passing TDs. And he's just the second QB to ever accomplish this in NFL history. Wow. What about this one from NFL on CBS? He has the fewest passing TDs by a QB to start each of the team's first 10 games over the last 5 seasons. Kenny Pickett, the lowest in 2023 at 6. Then 2024, Daniel Jones. Then 2021, Trevor Lawrence. Then 2020, 2022, and 2021, Daniel Jones. You cannot make this shit up. The 33rd team, the longest active streaks of games with less than 3 passing TDs, minimum 5 attempts. Number 1, Daniel Jones. 57 games. This guy has not thrown 3 passing TDs in 57 straight games. The next closest is 14 games. I always wake up the next day after game days and I'm like, there's no way these stats and records can get worse. And every week, they get worse. I say this with as much respect as I can. When Adam Schefter fires off this tweet, when Adam Schefter tweets out that the New York Giants are releasing Daniel Jones, and I've had a damn good life, this will be the best day of my life. I will cry tears of joy. I will thank God, and I will be so freaked. You guys do not know what this day will mean to me, and I can't wait to experience it together. This will be the best day of my life. If you're ready for the Daniel Jones era to be over, like the video. Just do it. just like the video, because I need it like 6 years ago. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there. And DJ, we'll see you later.
WPG was up all night cooking those Daniel Jones tweets up.
I tweeted at him. I said, bro, your tweets are my post-game therapy.
It's good stuff. You know what my post-game therapy is? Mike G.
Oh, baby. We got a 3-point goal. Mike G. Bang! Give me some MGs in the chat. Give me some MGs in the chat. Let go. Boom! All guy does hit dingers. Says, Marsh, 1. Mike G. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Unbelievable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do we want Sanders at 2 if Ford goes 1? Or are we trading down and taking a guy like Ewers or Milrow later on? Appreciate you, brother. Dingers all day. Yeah, I would. I would take Sanders too.
Yeah.
I would.
I think you got to live with it.
Yep, I would. You need a quarterback. And he's a damn good quarterback. Are there some things I worry about with the Sanders camp? Yeah. You know, maybe this team needs something like that.
Maybe it needs to be.
Maybe this team needs something that. I'll say this much. Daniel Jones and his entourage didn't help in the lack of talk. Maybe we need someone that's actually going to give a shit.
I mean, if you want to talk about the polar opposite of Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Flipping this, or it's a 180 for the organization. Hopefully it's a 180 for the offense.
Hopefully it's a 180 for the results.
Yeah.
Rob Jigga. What if, with Locker Cutlets at QB, the offense still struggles? What happens then?
Cannot fire a guy over a backup quarterback not producing.
He already won 3 games with Tommy DeVito last year.
Yeah,
he beat the Packers on Monday Night Football.
We don't talk about that enough. I know we probably don't talk about that enough because we want to think that Tommy DeVito is not good. We want to know that Tommy DeVito is not good because he's not. Brian Daboll won 3 games with him last year, primetime games against incredible coaching staffs of Matt LaFleur, a blossoming quarterback in Jordan Love. Like, we don't give him enough credit for winning those games. Taking Daniel Jones to the playoffs is one thing. Won games with Tommy DeVito. 3 straight.
He's got to win a playoff game with Daniel Jones.
Won a playoff game. Isaiah Hodgins.
Patrick Seatman, show me the Vikings highlights again. Matt Breida, Richie James, and Daniel Bellinger, as well as Isaiah Hodgins, were the featured weapons on that team. And Brian Daboll found a way to win a playoff game with him.
Yep.
That is unreal. That is unreal.
That's why we will not sell our Daboll stock.
Yeah.
We can't.
Is he perfect? No. Do I have concerns? Yes. I don't think there's anyone available that's going to be better. We're going to talk about some upcoming coaching options in a second. Got a mailbag in about 30 minutes or so. If you want to get your questions in, hashtag Giants or Super Chat. All Super Chats guaranteed to get on the show. And if they're Giants applicable, we'll pop them up in the mailbag. Bronx Boy says there has to be more to Jones still starting. Has to be. I don't know. I don't understand how you can look that guy in the face and say he's the solution to the problems we're having. Bill says Eli and Peyton got him here. No, y'all like to do this little caveat thing where you don't want to fully place the blame on someone. Dave Gettleman made the pick. Dave Gettleman made the pick because he thought it was the best pick possible. Was it because of Eli? Was it because of Peyton? Was it because of David Cutcliffe? Joe Schoen signed Daniel Jones. It wasn't because John Mara made him. It wasn't because of Eli. It wasn't because of Peyton. It was because Joe Schoen thought it was the best move for this organization. The Giants are playing Daniel Jones because Brian Daboll thinks it's the best way for them to win games. Stop having a caveat and trying to displace blame. Claim the blame the right way. Giants are trying to win games. The Giants think Daniel Jones gives them the best opportunity. Dave Gettleman drafted Daniel Jones because he thought he was the guy. It wasn't because of all these outside factors. If you think that Dave Gettleman made the pick of Daniel Jones because that Eli Manning liked him as a person, you might also stay up, bake cookies, and put milk out on the night of on December 24th and hoping a fat man with a beard comes down your chimney. Wake the hell up and smarten up. I'm sick of that shit. I'm sick of it, man. Like, the Giants are losing games on purpose? No, they just stink. You think Joe Schoen was held at gunpoint by John Mara to re-sign Daniel Jones, but then when John Mara wanted Saquon Barkley, he didn't have to do it? I mean, are we shitting ourselves? And then are we eating the shit? Like, I don't know, man. If John Mara was making the decisions, do you think Saquon Barkley would be on the Eagles? We literally saw it in Hard Knocks. We literally saw it. I don't know. Houston? Huston? H-Town. Marsh, if we trade back, what is your ideal trade? So hard to say right now, bro. I appreciate the question, but like if I'm trading out of a spot to draft a quarterback, I need multiple ones going forward. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who they're trading down with. I don't know who's available. I'll say this. If Ward or Sanders are on the board, I'm not trading down. Unless someone is just giving me a king's ransom. And that better be 4 first-round picks. Yep, they did have the same QB coach. That does not mean that is why they drafted him. Oh, funny. That is funny. Harry, who would be a good fit if we fire our head coach? We got 15 names we're about to break down. 15 names we're going to break down here. Harry, stick around. Jonah Siebold, $25 super chat. What up, Jonah? Was this a 50-50 raffle winner?
Yep. Jonah, I'm not going to lie. I kind of needed more than 24 hours. I guess it has been more than 24 hours. I needed 48 hours away from you, Jonah.
Shout out to Jonah, the winner of our 50-50 raffle. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming back. Says, do you think we should look at a new QB coach if we draft a new quarterback? I think so. I don't think that's a bad idea. Shea Tierney's been the QB coach since Brian Daboll came here. They have ties back to their days in Buffalo. If the Giants draft a QB, I want Brian Daboll to be the QB coach. Yeah. And that's where I think it'll be.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Like, yes, Shea Tierney will remain as the QB coach most likely, but I want just as Mike Kafka's the offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll's calling the plays, even though he is not the acting head coach, acting QB coach. I want to be in that guy. Upside to life. I'm catching up on all the raffle stuff this week with the Giants on a bye week. I finally got some time. I put the order into our shipping team. Shipping team's a little light right now. We got one guy handling 30 NFL channels and 30 game days every week. Give me till this Sunday, and I will make sure everything has been purchased and everything is being shipped out. Sorry about that. DM Forever. What movie coach would be your choice for the New York Giants? So it has to be football.
Probably.
Yeah. I was going to say Coach Carter is one of my favorite coaches. I watched that movie last week. Still so good.
Oh, it holds up.
It's one of my best. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Timeless.
Coach Boone to get a team to rally together. I also like. Damn, I'm blanking on the guy's name.
What movie?
Friday Night Lights.
Oh,
Billy Bob Thornton in that movie.
Yeah. Billy Bob was great.
Billy Bob was good as the head coach in Friday Night Lights. What about are we calling Caretaker in The Longest Yard the head coach?
Was Caretaker the head coach, or was it
Was it the old guy?
It was the old
the
guy.
Old guy.
Nate Scarborough. Nate Scarborough. He's a Heisman winner.
Yeah. Michael Cook, you're stealing a show idea from me in the future, brother. Don't say that. Don't say that. I already have thought about that. That's already my top OC replacement.
Really?
Yeah.
Giant legend.
Kafka's gone.
He's just so bland. What is Kafka giving you?
And like, he ain't calling plays.
Yeah.
He wants to go somewhere and call plays. He is in a job where he is not gaining anything to get a head coach job. And that's the game he's playing. Yeah. Michael Cook, don't ever say that again in the chat until that video comes out, but you're on to something. You're on to something. Great minds think alike. I'll go with Coach Herman Boone. I love Remember the Titans. Razor Shockwave, my man. Hey, Marsh, question. Thank you for the love, bro. When are we able to get rid of DJ? Soon as the season ends. We Are Marshall, good football movie as well, Mr. Rick. I can say I've watched that movie multiple times just as a kid, just because my name was in there. You can cut him as soon as the season ends. And the Giants are going to cut him once the season ends. They're going to save $19 million in cap space. He will be cut, and we will celebrate, and we will party so damn hard on this channel.
Oh, we're going live.
I want to throw up on stream 8 times. 8 throw-ups for 8 Daniel Jones.
You guys thought we were drunk at 10 a.m. yesterday? Oh, my God.
Yeah. It is going to be an unreal stream the day that Daniel Jones gets benched. Might have to go live for like 8 hours or something. G-Men, thank you for the love, man. Says, if we were 5-5 with Locke, what are the chances we get a good QB in the draft? Probably not. But man, I would do some bad things to people to be 5-5, man. Like, isn't that the point? To win games?
Win games.
Like, I get it. Ping pong balls are fun. The NBA draft lottery is cool.
I don't like that in the NFL, man.
No. Like,
you have to go through a lot of misery to get a top quarterback pick in the NFL draft. The unfortunate part is the Giants did it last year, and they just won too many games.
Yeah. I would love to be 5-5, man. We'd be talking about the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then, like, you could still trade up in the draft. I don't know. I would like to be 5-5. And that's at worst. That's like worst case scenario with an average QB. We could put it up. It's not a big deal. Slimy says, what do you feel about Davis Webb at OC? It's my top OC replacement. Where'd you guys hear about this stuff? Where'd y'all hear about that? But yeah, Davis Webb is my number 1 Mike Kafka replacement. My number 1 Mike Kafka replacement. I know where I heard someone say it. Where did y'all hear someone say it? I'm curious. Wonder if it was the same thing. EJ Gonzalez, $5 super chat. Well, I'll just you got that set up. Says, I want Vrabel as the coach. He didn't succeed in Tennessee. He didn't have a QB. It was the King Henry show with a QB. Vrabel will be better. Look, if Vrabel is available and the Giants fire him, yeah, he's going to be probably on my top 2. Probably on my top 2 and maybe number 1. The PFF episode, Michael Cook. Did you know that's where I saw it as well? The guy messed up on the cap in that video. I don't remember if you know that, Michael. He said the Giants sit at like $45 million in cap space, and then he said if the Giants cut Daniel Jones, they lose $3 million in cap space. The Giants gain $19 million in cap space if they cut Jones. He messed that up. I love that show. I love the Stock Exchange show, but he totally messed that up. I don't know if you caught that. You don't subtract the cap hit and the cap savings. Cap savings, they already did the math for you, buddy. I don't know if you caught that. All righty. Adam Schefter went on the Pat McAfee show today, and he spoke about the Giants and their future. Nah, just get straight into it. Let's do it. Adam Schefter went on the Pat McAfee show, and he said, I don't know that anybody is safe, and I think anything is possible when it comes to Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen being fired by John Mara. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Still love the New York Giants. Hit that thumbs up icon. This is what Schefter said in the podcast, or I guess just the show of the Pat McAfee show. Says, quote, I don't know that anybody could say that anybody's safe in New York. I don't know that anybody can say that anybody's safe when you're on track to have the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And again, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And what Adam Schefter was responding to was when John Mara said that we are not going to make any changes midseason. And I remember I did a video on that. And I said this 2 weeks ago. A lot can change in 10 weeks. And that was 2 weeks ago. And a lot has changed in 2 weeks. Best part about it is the Giants have lost 5 straight games. The Giants have lost 5 straight games. They've lost 3 straight games since John Mara issued that statement. And I think we know that John Mara and his votes of confidence into his coaching and general manager don't necessarily mean anything. Let's go to the Mara one right here. What John Mara said a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, we are all very disappointed with where we are right now. But I'm going to say one thing. We are not making any changes this season. And I do not anticipate making any changes in the offseason either. I remember when I did this video, I told you guys, I think John Mara may have just given the kiss of death to Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. Because back on November 13th of 2017, Giants co-owner said Ben McAdoo is our head coach. No in-season changes coming. And then less than a month later, the Giants fired head coach Ben McAdoo. Then on December 26th of 2021, Adam Schefter reported that the New York Giants plan to bring back Joe Judge. 3 weeks later, the New York Giants fired Coach Joe Judge. So just because John Mara said there will not be in-season changes, or that we don't plan on making changes outside the season and we want to be patient, does not mean fall for the cheese on the rat trap. The Giants still have 7 games. That's crazy. 7 more games this season. A lot can change. And maybe a lot will change. And maybe the feelings of John Mara saying we're not going to make changes will change. Question to you is this. Should John Mara, co-owner, CEO of the New York Giants, fire Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll? Type F for fire, type K for keep. We put out a video Monday morning on the channel, and I said I am sticking with Brian Daboll, and I am sticking with Joe Schoen. I am going to remain with the Buffalo duo as the brain trust of this organization. And I'm not going to go into a deep dive of why I believe that. I put out a 22-minute video Monday morning giving you my full thoughts, and we went brick by brick as to how I came to that decision and why I believe that. So check that out. This is the thumbnail of that video. That's why you subscribe and turn your notifications on. So after you watch this video, go watch that one. Coming up next, though, with Adam Schefter essentially saying that the seat is hot for Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, I thought it'd be a good idea to look at 14 head coaches that the New York Giants could hire. So coming up next, some Brian Daboll replacements. But first, I got to give a major shout out to our proud sports book partner, DraftKings. If you use that promo code NICSCHAT, make a $5 bet, you'll get $200 in free bets instantly. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup championship in Vegas. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code NIXCHAT. That's code NIXCHAT for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/BBALL.
Shout out to DraftKings, our proud sportsbook partner here. No Giants this week. They're on bye, so Smitty's slate for Week 11, the Sunday games. Here are the spreads that I like, all minus 110 odds on DraftKings. Bet 11 to win $10. Bills, minus 2.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's going to be a big week for Josh Allen and the Bills. Kansas City's been playing with fire. They're going to get their first loss in Buffalo. Dolphins, minus 7 against the Raiders. The Raiders are really bad. The Dolphins feel like they kind of need some wins here, and this feels like one they're going to get a big margin with. And Seattle, plus 6.5 at San Francisco. I don't know why I'm taking this line, but
I feel like those Seahawks and Niners games always get a little tricky.
They get a little tricky. There was already a blowout one this year in Seattle. Niners took control of that one there. I think Seattle kind of gets a little bit of revenge. I don't know if they win outright, but 6.5 feels like a lot of points for a divisional matchup. Lines and odds are subject to change on these, so we recorded this a little bit before Sunday. These lines might change. Who knows? Download DraftKings, use that code NIXCHAT, get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5.
Shout out to Smitty. Roll with his picks or fade his picks. Just do it with our proud sportsbook partner, DraftKings. All righty. With some conversation from Adam Schefter that the New York Giants may fire Brian Daboll, I thought it'd be a good idea to go through some top coaching candidates that they could hire. Here at Chat Sports, we have polled all 30-plus employees, and we had a list of who the top head coach candidates this cycle could be. So these aren't all my rankings. This is a generalized rankings of the Chat Sports team. Let's start with Bobby Slowick, the current offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. He's done a really good job with C.J. Stroud. Offense is kind of taking a step back this year for Houston. Definitely on my radar, but not necessarily at the top of my list. Then you got the offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson, for the Atlanta Falcons. He's a part of that Sean McVay tree. This is a guy that definitely has a bright mind. I'm not ready, though, to make him my head coach. I'm currently looking for someone that's been there and done that and achieved good things as a head coach. I don't really want to go risk someone that hasn't done it before. Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. He was the head coach for the Miami Dolphins, a defensive mastermind, someone that was in the running to be the head coach for the New York Giants before they hired Brian Daboll. I love the attitude, the swag, and the mindset he has. I don't love that he pretty much told Tua he sucks and he hates him. He's on my list, but closer to the bottom. Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, got to show love to him and what he's been able to do even after their OC left last year. They call him the Baker Whisperer. Baker's still having a good year this year, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense is a good one. Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for Philly, for a long time, he has been linked and mentioned as a potential head coach in this league. I don't hate the idea of Kellen Moore being a head coach, but for me, I'm looking for someone that's got experience as being a head coach before. What if Zach Taylor gets fired by the Cincinnati Bengals? He is an offensive genius. He's had a lot of success in this league. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's made runs in the playoffs before. Zach Taylor definitely makes my short list of potential Brian Daboll replacements. Lincoln Riley, the head coach for USC. I don't have Lincoln Riley on my top 10. I did not include him on my top 15. The Chat Sports guys included him there. Lincoln Riley does not know how to coach defense. I don't think he values defense. So Lincoln Riley not on my list. I would also have Bill Belichick closer to number 2 than number 7 on my top head coach replacements to replace Brian Daboll. Well, I know people are going to say Bill Belichick never did anything without Tom Brady, and while that's true to a degree, he did lead Mac Jones to the playoffs. Look, if I'm looking for someone that's been there and done that, Belichick's at the top of that list. He's definitely on my very short list of potential replacements. Joe Brady, offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to pass on Joe Brady. I don't want to bring another coordinator hire that's never been a head coach. Brady's had a couple of stops along the way. He's had some impressive runs, was really good in college. He's now transformed that Buffalo offense, but I don't want to bring another Buffalo offensive coordinator to this team. Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens offense looks really good this year. They are first in the league in points per game, first in yards per game, third in passing yards per game, and first in rushing yards per game. And he is the offense that has only had 6 turnovers. That is tied for the third least in this league. Love what I've seen from Lamar this year, but I'm going to give more credit to Lamar than Todd Monken. Cliff Kingsbury, no interest. I don't know why he is so high on this Chat Sports list of replacements. I don't have him inside my top 15. We've seen him as a head coach. I have no interest. If the Browns do move on from Kevin Stefanski, number 3 is somewhere close where I would have him. I have him in my top 5. He's won a lot of games for Cleveland. Got him in the playoffs multiple times. I like Stefanski. He's a play caller. I think he's a grown-up. I think he's a good CEO. He makes my short list. Mike Vrabel as well is at the top of my list. I may have him as the number 1 spot over Ben Johnson. He comes in at number 2 for the head coach candidates per Chat Sports. I like Vrabel a lot. No-nonsense type of guy. You'd have a culture. You'd have an identity. You'd have a guy that's played in the NFL before that I think is awesome at times that players can relate with. Vrabel is at the top of my list for potential Brian Daboll replacements. And then everybody's darling, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson has been linked to being a head coach for multiple years now. He has turned down multiple jobs, and I think that he is going to prioritize a great landing spot. Maybe that is the Giants, as they could have $65 million in cap space and maybe the number 1 overall pick. If I had to say who my number 1 replacement would be, I would go with Vrabel. I would love Johnson. I don't think we have a shot at him. Vrabel, Stefanski, and Belichick are probably my top 3 at this moment. Who do you want to coach the Giants next season? Give me a name of somebody that you would want to be the head coach for the New York Giants next year. My answer is Brian Daboll. If not, I'm going with Vrabel, Belichick, or Stefanski if Stefanski does get fired, which TBD on that front. If you want to talk about it more, give me a follow over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue. Smitty, if you had to pick one of those guys, let's say that Daboll is fired.
Yeah.
Who are you leaning?
Probably Vrabel. I like Stefanski. The thing is with Belichick, man, honestly, I want, if we're bringing in a rookie quarterback, like, I want somebody who we can have around for 5 to 10 years confidently.
No, I agree with that.
So as proven as he is the greatest coach that this professional league has ever seen, like, how many years are you getting out of Belichick? It's not like he's anointed these disciples, like he's going to leave a trail or a successor after him. Look what the Patriots did after he left. I'm not going to say that he handpicked Gerard Mayo. Robert Kraft picked Gerard Mayo. But it's not like he's left a trail of successful head coaches. Josh McDaniels, ass. Matt Patricia, ass. There was another one. Bill O'Brien, bad. Like, Brian Daboll is a Bill Belichick disciple. Joe Judge. Like, he does not have the McVay or the Shanahan track record of, great coaching.
No, I hear you. Vrabel is clear and obvious number 1 for me.
Yeah.
I do have Belichick too, but I got Daboll above both those guys.
I think that
I'm only firing Brian Daboll if I know I can get Mike Vrabel as my head coach.
I honestly think, though, with the way that, and to be fair, Ryan Tannehill is no all-pro either, even though he had the one season where he looked like it. Vrabel, didn't do it with a superstar QB. Stefanski has been really good.
I like Stefanski. I don't think the Browns are going to fire him. I don't think the Browns should fire him.
Yeah, they should not fire him. I was very surprised to even see him on that list. I didn't even know there was buzz around that.
Yeah.
With the QB situation they have, I mean, they're in a real nightmare, and that's maybe they'd fire him to let him go because they're going to be in hell over the next couple of years with that Sean Watson guarantee. Yeah, there's some wild names coming up in the chat.
It's Daboll or it's Vrabel. It's Oles or bust.
Yep, it's Abels or bust.
Yep, it's the Abels or bust.
Or if Stefanski is,
yeah,
like if Stefanski's there, like go get him.
Agreed. I get it. A lot of love for Bobby. What is his name?
Bobby Slowick?
No,
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Hasn't been a head coach.
Never been a head coach, and honestly, how could you not have a great offense with Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery and the great best O-line? Like,
there's a reason Jared Goff has looked like one of the best QBs in the league. And there's also a reason he could look like what he did last night. Like, Lions offense wasn't cooking last night. I don't know, man. He's also been kind of like acting like a little bit of a prima donna through this whole process.
Too good for certain jobs.
Too good for certain jobs. It's the National Football League, man.
I agree.
I understand there's some places you could go that some people could consider, career S words, but it's the National Football League, man. You're getting offered jobs. You didn't want to take the Commander's job. They drafted Jaden Daniels.
Bet he wishes he was that coach now.
Yep.
Mr. Rick says Belichick left the Giants under really strange circumstances. 91. Take it to the bank. The Maras, don't forget. Just my opinion. I agree with you, and I don't think that John Mara loved that that Bill Belichick went on the Pat McAfee show and ripped apart Hard Knocks, ripped apart Joe Schoen, and ripped apart that they let Barkley go to sign a guard. I don't think that Mara loves that. But could we also see Mara having no other option to turn to and saying, I don't know who else to trust. Come save us, Bill Belichick. I could see that as well. Daboll, Vrabel, bust.
Not B.O.B.s. OJ live. We appreciate
Bill O'Brien? Where's he at?
Boston College.
Okay. No thank you on Bill O'Brien. No thank you. EJ Gonzalez. Or that was earlier?
Yeah, it was earlier, but we didn't get you up on screen, EJ. Shout out to you. Appreciate the $5 super chat.
Shout out to you, bro. Says, I want Vrabel as the coach. He didn't succeed in Tennessee because he got to the conference championship, I think.
Yeah. They lost to the Chiefs in the conference championship.
And they went on the road.
No, they lost to the Bengals in the conference championship.
They went on the road and beat the Baltimore Ravens, too, when they were the 1 seed, I believe.
Correct. They ended Tom Brady's career.
Yeah. Look, Vrabel is the number one replacement for me. Number one replacement for me. If there needs to be a replacement, which I don't know if there should be. Totally different sports, but who is the worst and best New York GM out of these four? Shane, Douglas. I guess that's the Rangers guy.
I think these are hockey guys. Because they're not basketball, they're not baseball.
Yeah. I would say probably Joe Douglas is the worst.
Joe Douglas is bad.
How many times does he get to tear that franchise to the ground?
How long has he been the GM there? Do you know?
I feel like a long time.
Because the Jets have the longest active playoff drought of any professional sport, I believe. Hey, Rivera, what up? How you doing, my man?
Joel Castillo says, you say that, but he had players. Coach Daboll won a playoff game with Daniel Jones and a bunch of nobodies.
Who were like the elite player? I mean, I guess what do they have? Kevin Byard.
And we also just said we want Daboll over Vrabel.
Yeah. We're not arguing for Vrabel. We're not arguing for Daboll to get fired. We were reacting to an Adam Schefter quote.
Yeah, he's been the GM of the Jets since 2019. So he drafted.
Not draft Darnold. Drafted Zach Wilson.
Drafted Zach Wilson, then got to trade for Rodgers.
He's crippled that organization.
How many head coaches has he gone through?
Who was before Saleh there? It wasn't Gase. Who was the coach there before Robert Saleh?
Gase.
Oh my God.
Rex, Bowles, Gase, Saleh.
Damn, they've had less. They've had less than you think, but I guess no wonder they haven't been in the playoffs for that reason.
Saleh being there 3 years feels like a long time.
Yeah. It also felt quick to fire though at the time too. Like it felt like he was there a long time, but it also, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know much about hockey, to be honest with you, but I'm going to say Joe Douglas is worse than Joe Schoen.
The Rangers have done great things.
Get that Igor contract
Yeah,
signed.
get that Igor contract signed. Fact. I don't know who Chris Drury is. I would assume Islanders.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Hey, Islanders have been in the playoffs. They've had exciting series in the last 5 years.
All righty.
Mailbag?
Mailbag time.
If you want any last-minute questions, use hashtag Giants. I'm going to look through some hashtag Giants right now, see if anybody has good stuff.
Hashtag Giants. It's mailbag time, Rob Sippy. Yeah, I'm with you, Mr. Rick. If you're gonna fire Brian Daboll, you better not fire Brian Daboll to find a guy that's never done anything before as a head coach. You got to get someone that's been there and done that. Mr. Rick, I put a short out today that I thought I don't know if you can hear this.
The current state of the New York Giants is not as bad as you might think. It's bad. There's no doubt about it. It is an embarrassing product that the New York Giants have put on display this year. But you see so many people talk about there are so many other problems outside of the quarterback position, and I don't really see them. Is this roster perfect? No. Do they have their flaws? Absolutely. But the biggest problem with this team is they do not have a game changer at that quarterback position.
So I said the Giants don't have a game changer at the QB position. Someone responded with the funniest comment I've ever seen. Says, well, you see, Daniel Jones is actually a game changer. He changes the game for the other team with his interceptions, love, and passion for running into sacks, and his inability to throw past 5 yards accurately. Unless, of course, it's accurately into a defensive back's hands. I cackled when I read that. I cackled. Actually, he is a game changer for the other team. Hilarious. JT says go out and get Strahan. I don't know what's going on with all the Michael Strahan stuff, but I saw he was getting ripped recently. I saw that Michael Strahan the media has not been nice to Michael Strahan over the last day and a half, and I'm not sure why.
Oh, is it in some hot water?
Yeah, supposedly people didn't like it when he didn't put his hand over the heart for the national anthem.
Oh, he didn't put his hand over his heart?
That's what I've read. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, Beast, I got you, Beast. What? Yeah, Beast. Michael Strahan. Did he put his hands behind his back? I don't know.
Right here, just right here. I don't know. We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, that's. He's no longer a Giant. He's always a Giant, but no longer a Giant. Not playing football. That's what we talk about on this show.
We don't like to dilly-dally. We shut up and dribble on this show.
Interesting.
What up, Bush Kid? Yeah, I believe his dad was in the military for 23 years, too. I don't know, though. I don't know. I don't want to go there. All right, mailbag time. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. It's mailbag time here on Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we react to the questions that come in from Giants fans on the latest news and rumors that surround this football team. If we didn't get to your question today, it's your fault because you're not subscribed. So change it. Go down right now. subscribe to the channel, and you're going to get free videos multiple times a day on your favorite squad. Uriel Torres, what's up, man? $5 super chat. Sitting at the worst record in the NFL, what percentage of blame would you give Daniel Jones, Daboll, and Joe Schoen? I would give 20% to Joe Schoen. I would give 10% to Brian Daboll, and I would give 70% to Daniel Jones. That may seem unfair, but that's what I believe. I believe the Giants are an average quarterback away from being 5-5 on this season. The Giants have 5 losses this year that came of 8 points or less. 5 one-score losses. I believe an average QB could have won them at minimum 2 of those games, probably closer to 3. I believe the biggest problem on this team is Daniel Jones. And until you fix that, it does not matter who your general manager or head coach is, because you have a guy that's just not good at the most important position in sports. Primo Miller, $10 super chat. Peace, Marsh. Peace, Primo. We should keep our staff for 2 more years at least. With that said, name 5 positions we can draft or grab in free agency to fix our team inside 2 years. And I agree with you. If you're not going to fire, and I'm not saying you should, if you're not going to fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen this offseason, and they pick a quarterback, they need to be your head coach and general manager pairing for that rookie quarterback's rookie year and for the second year of that quarterback. You don't want to be the Bears, where 3 times you've drafted a quarterback in the first round, and 3 times you fired that coach after the rookie year. None of those QBs have been good. But the 5 biggest positions of need for me for the Giants, obviously quarterback number 1, a starting guard or tackle at that right side of the line. If it's a guard, keep Illuminor at right tackle. If it's a tackle, move Illuminor to guard. You need more wide receiver help. You need another playmaker. You need another game changer. You need another explosive play creator at that wide receiver spot. Defensive tackle next to Dexter Lawrence is also very high up on my list. Cornerback, very high up on my list. And also they need a new kicker as well, because Graham Gano, he is cooked. Yeah, a lot of holes to fill. Giants are going to have a high pick in the draft. Giants are going to have $65 million to spend in free agency. It's a big offseason for Joseph. Mike G, $50 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for doing what you do, man. Seriously. Do we want Sanders at 2 if Ward goes 1? I think I do. And I'm saying this on November 11th, as we are 5+ months away from the draft. A lot can change. A lot will change. I haven't done the all-22 homework I will have done by the time we get to February, time we get to March, by the time we get to April. But yeah, biggest need on this team is quarterback, and I believe Cam Ward is QB1, and I believe Shedeur Sanders is QB2, and I believe they are clearly the number 1 and 2 quarterbacks in this class. I worry more so about everything around Shedeur Sanders, because when you eliminate distractions and you eliminate everything else, he's just as good as anybody in this class at slinging the pill. Rob Jigga, what's up, man? What if with Locker Cutlets at QB the offense still struggles? What happens then? Kafka, Daboll to blame, fire. Well, Kafka's going to leave this offseason because you have him as an offensive coordinator who does not call plays. There is no upward mobility for him. I'm also not going to fire Brian Daboll because he can't get the offense going with Drew Lock or Tommy Cutlets, because he already got the offense going last year with Cutlets. Beat the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football. 3 wins with Tommy DeVito. Tells me that if you give this guy a young, talented, potential-filled quarterback, you're going to be able to win games. B. Coop, appreciate the $10 super chat, bro. What if they are smarter than we think? What if they're tanking and they know DJ is the best chance for them to lose? Now they get to make the best pick in the draft. Just think on it, brother. I hear you, and I understand. I just don't believe that Brian Daboll is trying to lose games on purpose. I don't believe that. I won't believe that. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're not. But I'm not going to believe in that. I'm not going to believe that Brian Daboll is losing games on purpose in the month of November. NFL teams don't tank unless it's week 17 or week 18. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're not. I'm not going to believe it. I appreciate the super chat. I'll think about it. Brian Daboll's not in a good enough spot to lose games on purpose. Just my opinion. Pick one to keep. I think these guys are a package deal. I do. But if you could only choose one of them to return next year, be a part of this organization, who would it be? Let me know your thoughts. Jonah, what's up, Seabolt? Appreciate you coming by. Do you think we should look at a new QB coach if we draft a new quarterback? Look at a new QB coach. If Brian Daboll is your head coach, Shea Tierney will be your quarterback coach unless he gets a job where he becomes an offensive coordinator. Or maybe you promote Tierney to your offensive coordinator and then you hire a QB coach. I think Kafka's out. And I don't think it'll be because the Giants fire him. I think that Mike Kafka's going to leave because Brian Daboll took the play calling from him. We all know what happened last year. That was well documented with Daboll and Kafka. Mike Kafka wants to be a play caller somewhere. Maybe he wants to be a college head coach. I don't think Mike Kafka is a part of the New York Giants next year. Whatever the Giants do at quarterback, whether it's draft, whether it's trade, whether it's free agency, I want Brian Daboll and that quarterback married. I want them joined at the hip. Brian Daboll takes a piss, that rookie quarterback needs to take a piss. That rookie quarterback goes out to dinner, Brian Daboll needs to go out to dinner with them. I want them to be best friends, just like Daboll and Josh Allen were. You got this job, Brian Daboll, because you did what you did with Josh Allen. Do it again. Do it again. We'll answer more questions coming up in a second, but I got to give a major shout out to our proud sportsbook partner, DraftKings. When you use that promo code NixChat, bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code NixChat. That's code NixChat for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/BBALL.
Shout out to DraftKings, our proud sportsbook partner. Smitty slate for Week 11. No Giants, so I'm giving you my picks from the rest of the league. So Bills -2.5 against KC. KC's been skating on thin ice lately. I like the Bills to give them their first loss. Give me -2.5 on that one. Win it by a field goal. All odds here are -110, by the way. $11 wins you 10. Dolphins -7 against the Raiders. I think they're going to get a big win here. I think this is one of those type of Dolphins blowouts games where Tyreek's getting in the end zone. Jalen Waddle's getting in the end zone. Tons of points on the board for Miami. Give me -7 there. And then Seattle Seahawks +6.5 at San Francisco. A lot of points there for a divisional matchup. Give me +6.5 there. Lines and odds subject to change. Bet $5. Get $200 in bonus bets using our code NixChat at DraftKings.
Shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring the show. Roll with Smitty, fade Smitty, play DraftKings. Use that promo code NixChat. Bet $5, get $200 for free. The High Buy. What's up, man? Shout out to you, 54321. What's going on, Marsh? Sad to say, but someone is losing their jobs besides Jones. Maybe. I don't think the Giants are going to fire Joe Schoen or Brian Daboll as we sit here and film this on November 11th. A lot of time left. A lot of things could change. We'll get to find out, and we'll break it down on this channel. That's why you subscribe. TD Midas. Is this like Midas Touch, something like that? TD Midas. Shout out to you. A-Boogie in the hoodie. Says, is it possible for Daboll to remain head coach and win 4 or less games? Like this year? Yeah, there's a shot. Giants have 2 wins and there's 7 games left. Is he going to win almost half those games? I don't know. Yeah, there's a chance. especially with the way that this quarterback room looks. Yeah, there's a chance the Giants don't win another game this year. The most winnable game this year was against the Panthers, and you lost. So, yeah, there's a chance. Maybe your best chance at a win going forward is Cooper Rush on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys, but, yeah, maybe. Maybe you don't win another game. Huston, who is currently your number one free agent target? That's a great question. I'm going to go with Trey Smith, the offensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs. We did a full video of free agents. One of the guys on my list has already been signed to an extension. Shout out to him. But, yeah, I would go with Trey Smith, the interior offensive lineman, the guard from the Kansas City Chiefs. If not him, I'm looking at maybe Zach Martin. I know he's a little bit older. Maybe a guy like T. Higgins. Maybe a guy like Charvarius Ward. Maybe a guy like, who's the other corner? The one from the Chargers? His dad, Asante Samuel Jr. Those are some that I'm looking at. Russell Wilson. Justin Fields. Giants have to sign a veteran quarterback. They can't go into this draft with just cutlets on this roster. Because we know that someone's getting cut, and it ain't the Let's. 40 from the block. What are the odds we see Tommy DeVito? I feel like he had very small upside. You're right. He had very small upside. And as for the future, would you try to get Belichick for the head coach? You might see DeVito, but the Giants also paid Drew Lock $5 million for a reason. If they believed Tommy DeVito was a capable backup quarterback, they wouldn't have paid Drew Lock. They would have rolled with Cutlets. I think it's going to be Cutlets to get a chance after Drew Lock. Also, as far as the future, would you try? Bill Belichick's in my top 3. I got Vrabel above him, and I got Daboll above him. If I had to power rank the 3 coaches I want next year, it's Daboll, it's Vrabel, and then maybe Bill Belichick. That's probably where I stand. The AMP channel, what's up, bro? If we keep losing, how long do you keep playing your key players and risking long-term injury? Until week 18. I don't think that the Giants organization is going to sit healthy players. I don't. Should have benched Daniel Jones 5 weeks ago, though. If you were the GM of the Giants, what players would you re-sign? 3 players you would sign in free agency, and who are you picking in the draft if Cam Ward is gone? All right. What players would you re-sign? I'm trying to re-sign Azeez Ojulari since you didn't trade him in the offseason. I honestly don't even know if I want any other. I would re-sign any of the other guys. I don't. We'll do a full video, though, Bryce, when I have a list in front of me of free agents I would want to re-sign. The only one I am making sure, though, that comes back is Ojulari. I'm not bringing back Slayton. And then 3 players I would sign. Give me T. Higgins, Trey Smith, and Asante Samuel Jr. Who am I picking in the draft if Cam Ward is gone? Shedeur Sanders. If not, I'm picking the best player available. Doesn't matter the positions. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_. Just crossed over 9,000 followers on Twitter. Shout out to y'all. We're on our way to 6,000 followers on IG. Give me a follow, and let's go Big Blue. Yeah. Bot Dog says you guys are too much. What did we do wrong, Bot Dog? I don't get it. Okay. Gotcha. People in the chat are funny. They are. Jay Liv, you're assuming they can judge QB talent. What gives you reason to believe this? Great question. I'm going to say because they were a part of a staff, or Joe was a part of a staff that drafted Josh Allen. Brian Daboll saw Josh Allen up in close personal, and Brian Daboll said he would have traded up for Jaden Daniels. That's really all I got to stand on. That's really all I got to stand on. Hot Dog, we appreciate you. That's all I really got to stand on. Okie dokie. All righty. We are going to sign off. We've been live for 2 hours. It's been a lot of fun. It's been real. It's been fun. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Over 4,000 Giants fans tuned in today. Awesome participation. Awesome stuff from you guys. You guys brought the boom today. Shout out to y'all. 2 videos coming out tomorrow. Potentially live on the channel later this week with no game. And we're back live for sure next Monday. And then we're live against the Bucs on Sunday. And maybe new quarterback. A lot to look forward to. See y'all later. Let's go Big Blue. Hit the thumbs up icon, subscribe, do all the shit you're supposed to do. Stop being weird. Let's go.